see. SpongeBob Season 3, Lost episode, Darkest Heart. Prologue. Who am I? I'm a single father with 2 children, an 8-year-old boy named Terrence, and a 5-year-old boy named Leo. You guys probably ask why I'm a single father. That's because my wife died after getting murdered by her ex out of jealousy. Oh, okay. Anyway. It's spring break, and I noticed Leo started acting really odd. Like something Like sometimes he would barely eat. He would get random bruises, etc., etc. I feel concerned, so I took him to the doctors, and the doctor had diagnosed him with cancer. Before he passed away, he wanted to see how SpongeBob SquarePants was made. SpongeBob was his #1 favorite show. Every morning he would go to Nickelodeon channel to see SpongeBob before he goes to school, since he woke up at 6 a.m. in the morning. Knowing how much Leo wanted to see SpongeBob behind the scenes, I wanted to make a Make-A-Wish Foundation to make his biggest wish come true. We went to South Korea to visit the Rough Draft Studio to see how SpongeBob was animated, then visit the Nickelodeon's animated studio to see how they voiced the characters and made the storyboards, etc. There was every shelf of SpongeBob episodes and videotapes, with the episode's name being labeled. Chapter 1 found an odd DVD. I noticed an odd case on the Season 3 episode self-labeled Darkest Heart, with them drawing a piece of trash. I asked them about that. They said it was an episode that was meant to be spread awareness about the ocean and how we should be more careful about pollution in the sea. But the writers took it the wrong way and went too far, to the point where it was deemed too dark to be aired and released. I thought it probably wouldn't be as dark as they say, right? I learned this truth the hard way. In case it was true, I decided to watch it alone to avoid traumatizing anyone who wanted to join me. Luckily, I found a room with a TV and a built-in DVD player. Okay, so it's in the studio anyway. Now I can watch the episode while Leo and Terrence were in the middle of SpongeBob behind-the-scenes tour. After I put the DVD in, the SpongeBob episode started. So I did my journey of the pollution episode that was soon blew my innocence. Chapter 2. Are you ready, kids? We greeted with the same old intro from every SpongeBob episode, where we got a talking pirate in the painting. SpongeBob played the recorder with his nose, and the title card of, you guessed it, Darkest Heart. Because everything looked normal, I thought it was a silly joke to scare me. That, in reality, the episode was just suffering in the same fate as the Sponge Who Could Fly, but there was no plan to air it on TV, so maybe it was exclusive to aquatic or part of park if you donated to some ocean charity. Man, I was wrong. It started out with outside zooming into SpongeBob pineapple, fading into his bedroom. Inside, SpongeBob seemed to be shaking in fear, with his eyes closed like he was having a nightmare. Same videos like Boston Tea Party, an oil bill, and a sea turtle choking on part of 6-pack rings appear for a couple of seconds. He woke up before his alarm went off. After a couple of seconds, when he looked at the clock, the 470 foghorn woke him up. Grand alarm clock, or what? SpongeBob called, "Alarmy!" Go off with his face looking up. He looked outside the window at the car on the highway. It looked like he felt something strange. Strong, windy blizzard coming up a mountain. Using all his grip to avoid getting blown away to turn off his alarm. Soon SpongeBob felt relieved when that was all a nightmare. Then he continued his life like nothing happened. Changing into his clothes, going for a walk to his favorite job, the Krusty Krab. He noticed that Mr. Krab outside next to a lot of floating trash, from the water bottles, the pitchers of milk. He had a bucket of paint, some tube of glue with him. When SpongeBob asked his boss what he was doing, he was told that he wanted to build a large statue of the Krabby Patty out of the trash. He hired a sculptor to build a statue out of stone. Was it too expensive? SpongeBob walked in and noticed customers arguing about random objects inside the Krabby Patties. One said there was a bottle cap inside the burger. Another said that there was a whole slipper inside of a customer was mumbling unintelligibly about mouth clothes. When SpongeBob asked the customer what he was saying, the customer grabbed out a piece of paper and a pencil and wrote to SpongeBob, "I couldn't say anything because there was glue in my Krabby Patty." And while I was eating the same thing glued my mouth shut, the customer started chanting the words, "Refund, refund, refunds," while holding a sign with the same words. The screen goes to Mr. Krabs with his statue finished with his money. The rest, since it started to tingle. The word refunds go from one ear to another. One letter each. Mr. Krabs dashed into the restaurant and asked what's wrong. They started yelling at Mr. Krabs, opening their half-eaten Krabby Patties to reveal some random objects. They sat while yelling out in unison. "Explain this!" I chuckled a bit, especially on that one scene when the customer revealing an entire life-size scuba diver inside of a Krabby Patty. Okay, a Krabby Patty is a scuba diver away. Looking embarrassed, Mr. Krabs started demanding SpongeBob to cook the Krabby Patties clean and tasty. SpongeBob went into the kitchen to try and make a Krabby Patty. It was full of trash. He told Mr. Krabs about the trash in the kitchen. The camera pans to Squidward asleep on the cash register with the KLBG magazine covering his face. Mr. Krabs wake him up, send him to and SpongeBob on a mission to find out what the cause of the random trash on Bikini Bottom ended for good. Chapter 3, Operation TRASH, Trash. Try, recycle, and stay healthy. The scene transitioned to SpongeBob and Squidward in the middle of a walk. It looks like the sun is going down, and Squidward complained about how they're walking for hours to find nothing. Then he was going home, throwing hat on the ground really hard. After Squidward leave, SpongeBob felt upset, wondering how he's going to solve his mess. Then he got the idea to visit Sandy to see if she can find the origin of the trash as well. As SpongeBob started running, the string transitioned to the inside of Sandy's showdome. When Sandy worked on something, SpongeBob kicked down the door, opened the door, walking panting ran like a marathon. He told Sandy about the trash and he needs her help to find out where all the trash was coming from. Sandy told SpongeBob that she was working on an invention to try to get rid of the trash. During the middle of Sandy's talk, SpongeBob, the camera panned to a window as a convenience hoarder. Some trash bumped into the glass of the Frito with debris. When the trash cracked the glass, the camera going back to SpongeBob and Sandy. They heard a crack and they looked and they noticed the crack on the window. The crack started getting bigger and bigger before it fully broke and all the water went in. SpongeBob quietly took off his water helmet, poured all the water out, and gave it to Sandy so she could breathe while the water filled up the tree dome. After the flood, Sandy told SpongeBob that she might have to pause on developing something to get rid of the trash to repair the tree dome. Nighttime, SpongeBob had found an empty city that looked pretty unnerving. He checked the building. He looked all empty. Although he did check all the arm only to find Patrick eating grass. And he told SpongeBob that some random dude told him to eat some greens, and he ate some grass because grass was green. He was about to leave town when he noticed something he hadn't seen before. Chapter 4. The Garbanzo Gang. There was a man with a hat, his identified covering with his cylindos, with a bubble pipe in his mouth. He was sitting next to a rocking chair with reading a newspaper next to a rocking chair, showing a gasoline bottle next to him. His eyes only to be seen on which inside the normal eyes. Seeing the bell be right at angled triangles, he peeked out of the newspaper and noticed SpongeBob. "Hello, Sponge Boy." "Hello, Sponge Boy," he said in a deep voice, sounding like he smoked 5 packs of cigarettes. SpongeBob said, "My name is SpongeBob. What's your name?" The hat dude said, "Sponge Boy, SpongeBob, whatever. Also, my name is not important." SpongeBob started asking him if he knew where the trash was coming from. The hat guy responded, "I do know. They're coming." SpongeBob looked confused. "Who's coming?" "Once you see them, you know." The hat guy started drinking gasoline until he died of gasoline toxin. The three thugs-like objects looked like a larger object, the version of the common ocean garbage appeared. One of them is an empty water bottle with sharp teeth. Another one's a rip-off hood rubber with only one eye. A golden tooth with a spiky bat. The last is a grocery bag with a scar on his arm. Some broken teeth. The food wrapper wrapped around his arm. Reached out inside the wrapper, grabbing a Krabby Patty, then putting the fish between the buns and the bagger and hitting SpongeBob's face with the supposed to be representing SpongeBob getting a knuckle sandwich. The water bottle said, "We're the Garbanzo Gang." SpongeBob looked at the gang applied. "You're the ones who put in random trash in Bikini Bottom?" SpongeBob asked. The water bottle chuckled. "You're really far for a kitchen sponge." Chapter 5, One Messy Battle. The water bottle started to spit water on SpongeBob as hard as pressure washer. SpongeBob grabbed the ketchup and mustard bottle out of the pocket and shoot him into the floor, with Garbanzo gaining the trip and fall. The water bottle faintly opened his mouth, and he was like breathing his last breath. Then a dark void started to come out of his mouth, spreading in every direction. It goes every object touching, disintegrate into nothingness. SpongeBob sprinted back into the city that he lived in. It was empty, no friend, no nothing, just houses. The voice started to catch up and corner SpongeBob. He started hallucinating his friends getting harmed by the trash. SpongeBob cleaned his teeth and screamed in agony, "Why?" as he was disintegrated with the scream echoing in the darkness. The scream faded into SpongeBob fading away, crying in the corner while sitting down. Some message appeared saying 83 million tons of plastic are dumped in the ocean. Over 1 million marine animals die of plastic debris in the ocean each year. If you don't want the ocean to end up like SpongeBob here, stop polluting. Stop the pollution. It faded to the credits. The music was different. Instead of the normal credits playing, it was a music box playing the same tune as the credits in a musical scale, seen somewhere between oddly disturbing to sad. The music aid to the credits play like normal until we get to the ultimate Plankton Picture Inc. logo. Instead of the happy little plankton look like a creature smiling while holding his hands. They all looking down look like they're dead. There's a pile of plastic somewhere between them in front of them. All the creatures were a small shadow of the Garbanzo gang. Then now one course meal. Then it faded to the Nickelodeon logo. I wasn't there yet. I was surprised when I saw the Darkest episode. Like, are you happy now? One course meal, whatever. The Darkest Heart was on a whole new level. And the fact that my youngest son got cancer didn't help. I got Leo into chemotherapy, and I hope for his survival. Sometime I think it's called the Darkest Heart for a reason. The name was supposed to be pointed at us, where we're the one that who got the Darkest Heart, who was the one who's throwing fast in the ocean. We're the ones who put in the aqua species in danger. The species in danger to this point on. I'm gonna have to live my life with drama from a SpongeBob episode, my dead wife, and a possible death of Leo. Yeah. Hey guys, so that was part 1 of a 2-part episode. I'm gonna do part 2, so let's go to the next one, which is if this thing want to get back to the other one, which is SpongeBob episode season 3 Lost episode Burning Minds, DarkenedHeart, Darkest sequel. So let's see here. Spoiler and disclaimer: this creepypasta is a sequel to Darkest Heart. So before you read Darkest Mind, read Darkest Heart first to avoid any spoilers. If you want to upload a video of yourself reading my creepypasta, YouTube or any other video platform, include the spoiler in the beginning and provide a link to Darkest Heart in the description. Thank you for reading the disclaimer. This took me about 2.5 months to make this. I hope you enjoy the story and happy reading. Master Jiro 090 and author of Burning Minds and Darkest Heart. Prologue: The Aftermath of Darkest Heart. Hello everybody, this is Leo here. If you read Darkest Heart, you probably know who I am. If not, let me tell you. I'm just a 5-year-old boy living with his only father and one older brother. He's 8 years old, named Terrence. My mom was killed by her ex from jealousy at the park. Her ex intended to kill my dad as well, but we luckily escaped. I was diagnosed with cancer and went on a trip to behind the scenes tour of my favorite show, SpongeBob SquarePants. My dad found Darkest Heart. How did you know, you may ask? One thing my dad didn't know that you read the story was I also was a fan of creepypasta, not just SpongeBob. When I came across the Darkest Heart and noticed the main character traits that were also linked to my dad concerning a counseling, I also knew my dad without a doubt. Here's some facts about my dad he didn't tell you about me. First, I'm best friends with the classmate in my school named Anya. She also loves SpongeBob, and so we had things in common. So I think that we can especially click with BFFs. Before I was diagnosed with cancer, I asked her if we can hang out for a SpongeBob walk party. She accepted, although because my dad took me on a surprise trip to the hospital after noticing my symptoms, I had to cancel the watch party. Fast forward a couple of weeks after my dad got into chemotherapy, I was sent to the hospital to get my test to see if my cancer is going. I got results. It said my cancer was finally gone. I was excited. I went to school and rushed to my first class period and decided to tell all my classmates that my cancer was gone. They all cheered, and my BFS hugged me. I told them I was planning to host a celebration party, and everyone was invited. I even told my dad, and he allowed it. Having a behind-the-scenes tour of my favorite show and beating cancer, I think I'll probably living the best life. Just the one, including inside the party. So we're partying, going crazy, we're playing video games and dancing to some awesome music. One of my classmates, named Aiden, claimed that his father worked at Nickelodeon as a crew member for multiple shows, including SpongeBob. I didn't believe him, and he said that he was just trying to be cool. But what he said next changed my mind. Of course I do. I borrowed one of my dad's SpongeBob DVDs that had some unaired SpongeBob episodes. He showed us the case to us with a proof as well. The case had a picture of SpongeBob mopping at the Krusty Krab with the SpongeBob DVD with the name SpongeBob Fixes the Environment. I have an old CRTV and a DVD player connected to the TV to the HDMI cable. I put the disc in, it took me to the menu. It started with the background, the Bikini Atoll, the island, and intro. It went down to the show of the houses of three iconic characters, SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward. Sometimes SpongeBob will appear to do something anything related to cleaning. I pressed the episode select. The bottom, it only showed 2 episodes, Darkest Heart and Burning Mine. We watched Darkest Heart, and we didn't feel really scared. Although one of my friends felt a chill down the spine. Although Burning Mine was different. Chapter 2, Darkest Heart, Darkened sequel. It started out with the intro. It was normal at first, but when the screen faded to black before got the title card, I can faintly see the text saying, "It's burning hot." The title card appeared, and the credits sequence to that. Also, after the title card was different. First, the clear wave and the credits were gone. Just the sand and rocks, and then next, instead of the text of the credits fading out until no longer seen, it disintegrated like it was burnt to ashes, blown away by the wind. Finally, including the usual bubble transition that normally appears after the credits, it was replaced with the fire flames went flying out to the top of the screen with smoke appearing some of the flames. It started out with a real life clip of some random people playing on the beach. The French narrator spoke, saying, "Ah, it looks like some people at the beach are having fun, playing games, eating ice cream, and swimming in the ocean water. Like, what a great way to spend the summer day." The screen faded to the island appeared in the intro, aka Bikini Atoll. The narrator said, I wonder what the creatures in Bikini Bottom are doing. Let's have a look at a little favorite little boy, SpongeBob SquarePants. The screen pans to underwater is the SpongeBob pineapple. Then it faded to SpongeBob's bedroom. The foghorn alarm sounded after SpongeBob turned off the alarm and yawned and said, "Good morning, Gary." After Gary responded with a meow, the screen went outside with pineapple. When the screen closed to his bedroom window, the random character's sound effect of what looks like SpongeBob falling down the stairs playing with each noise. SpongeBob said, "Ow!" The screen panned to the next window as it successfully goes through a window to the noise stops and the sound effect of what sounds like a toilet flushing playing. And after the sound effect finished, the noise of SpongeBob fell down the stairs and continued playing until the screen finishes, panning to the door. Then SpongeBob started chanting, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready," while running down to the Krusty Krab. When SpongeBob entered the workplace, he was somersault and jumped while their face down in slow motion. He perfectly fit in the cashier window when it leads to the kitchen, lands perfectly in front of the grill. The screen goes to 3 anchovies at the table. Holding papers, one said 10, others said 9, then third said 10, just upside down. The second anchovy tapped the third one anchovy on the shoulder and notified them about the upside down paper. The anchovy rotated the paper right side up. The screen went back to the kitchen when SpongeBob was in the middle of cooking patties. After a couple seconds, SpongeBob started sweating a little bit. SpongeBob wiped off the sweat the side of his head and said, "Geez, is it just me, or is the weather getting warmer than usual?" SpongeBob shrugged it off and continued cooking crab patties. Chapter 3, Rising Temperatures and Rising Tensions. After SpongeBob completed one Krabby Patty, he was about to give Squidward the order, but the Krabby Patties ran into the freezer. SpongeBob tried to make another patty, but it just ran into the freezer and wanted to finish. Squidward yelled at SpongeBob, saying, SpongeBob, where are the Krabby Patties? The customers are waiting. SpongeBob explained to Squidward about the Krabby Patties going to the freezer, but Squidward didn't believe him. SpongeBob cooked the Krabby Patty while Squidward was watching, and the Krabby Patty went to the freezer like the others. SpongeBob notified Mr. Krabs about the problem. He was cooking another patty, so Mr. Krabs, and of course, the patty went to the freezer. I don't even know why it's happening. Let me think for a second, Mr. Krabs said. A sound of an oven time player. In a couple of seconds, Mr. Krabs gasped in realization as he, at the hyper-realism overtime thing, he clinked his fist in his breast and changed to envy and he yelled, Play done! His fists were shaking. Mr. Krabs' nose popped out with steam coming out of his. Mr. Krabs dashed the crusty chum bucket, and the screen went to Plankton about to prepare himself some food. Mr. Krabs captured Plankton, and everything went to black. Chapter 4, Answers Unknown. Mr. Krabs turned on the small lamp hanging from the ceiling, and it revealed Plankton being tied up to a small chair as he was being interrogated. What did you do to Krabby Patties? Mr. Krabs yelled angrily. Nothing, I swear. I was about to prepare myself some holographic meatloaf. Plankton answered with fear in his body. He started trembling. Then why are the Krabby Patties running to the freezer? What is one of your plans? Mr. Krabs asked while retraining his anger. I don't even know. I'm telling the truth, Plankton replied. Mr. Krabs turned on another lamp to reveal Karen tied up to a pole, and he grabbed a bucket of water and he threatened Plankton, saying, Tell the truth now, or your wife won't see you ever again. Karen break out of the rope and punches Mr. Krabs while telling him, Plankton's telling the truth. He wanted to take a break from playing on some schemes to steal your precious formula. He felt like he was too humiliated by you to continue making up some scheme and make me feel sad. Mr. Krabs calmed down and threw the water bucket off him in a couple of seconds. I sounded a large window breaking plane. While you can hear the iconic, My leg, quoted being spoken. Fine, I believe you, Mr. Krabs said. He untied Plankton from the chair. I'm the only one who feels like it was getting hotter outside than usual, Mr. Krabs said. Actually, no, I'm feeling the same way too, Plankton responded. Bringing the fire transition back to the kitchen. In SpongeBob is what I call speed cooking. The Krabby Patties, which each patty ran to the freezer. After it seemed like the 10 seconds, SpongeBob stomped and furious and yelled, That's it! SpongeBob dashed to the freezer and took all the Krabby Patties out and built wooden planks cartoonishly fast on the door. SpongeBob started panting and dusting his hands as he was saying, There, now you bad noodles can't run to the freezer no more. SpongeBob put the Krabby Patties in a tray and rang the bell, notifying Squidward that the order was finished. Squidward looked through the window and said sarcastic tone, Wow, those patties were so good I couldn't even see them. SpongeBob started laughing and said, Nice one, Squidward. SpongeBob pointed at the tray. SpongeBob looked at the tray and noticed the tray was empty. SpongeBob looked behind him to notice the wooden planks were barricaded, the door broken. The pieces were lying down on the floor. SpongeBob tried to get out the patties out of the freezer, but the doors were locked. SpongeBob walked back to the grill in disappointment. SpongeBob looked forwards and noticed something weird about Squidward. Squidward? SpongeBob asked. What? Squidward replied. Your nose is melting, SpongeBob told Squidward. Squidward looked down and he screamed as he ran to the freezer. Chapter 5, A Crusty Emergency. Squidward started to panic after entering the freezer and he noticed the Krabby Patties are sitting still. Squidward started adjusting to the nose as if it was modified clay. Then he asked the Krabby Patties, Alright, why did you run to the freezer? No, the screen zoomed to the Krabby Patties that they were silent, so silent, there were crickets chirping in the background. Squidward repeated the question, and the screen went to the Krabby Patties, again with the crickets, starting to chipper again. Squidward sighed and said, Whatever, I'm just talking to a pile of Krabby Patties. Soon enough, the Krabby Patties ran from the freezer to the kitchen. And Squidward was confused. Now the patties are running out of the freezer? But why? I am really that hideous? Then the close up of the panting Squidward appeared with a couple of seconds, and the sound effects of a woman screaming and disgusting played. He had a barnacle on his face, and some pimples as the acne and eye boogers show up. The scream entered Squidward at the point of view. Fog started to appear in front of him. A couple of seconds later, he looked like someone emitting yellowish light, was inside the freezer. Behind the fog, the light became bigger and bigger as it was continued towards Squidward. Before it was able to get out of the fog, the screen goes back to the third person point of view. Then Squidward tried to get out of the freezer, but the door is locked, and after Squidward failed to attempt to open the door, he used the doorknob and started banging out the door. The light emitted by the unknown seeing creature started to shine on Squidward. Squidward started screaming at the freezer door by flashing at there with a light inside. SpongeBob looked at the freezer door without going inside. After Squidward screamed in agony, Squidward successfully opened the door to the freezer door and looked like he was burned by the sun. SpongeBob raised his mouth and asked a question, but before SpongeBob could say a single word, Squidward said, "Don't even ask about it," in a grumpy mood. As he was blinded to it often, the point he was gotten so used to it, as SpongeBob decided to cook another patty. Surprisingly to him, the patty didn't run like Mr. Krabs entered the restaurant again. He noticed SpongeBob was holding a tray of Krabby Patty. "Looks like you got them to work, boyo. Ready to continue the job?" asked Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs asked. I'm ready," SpongeBob yelled. Chapter 6. Problems rising like a temperature. A title card appeared, saying 1 hour later. The screen went to two fishes sitting at a table looked like a married couple, and the male fish started to sweat. "Gee, like, it's really hot out there," the male fish said. The female fish replied, "You're right, it's really hot out there, that my drink started to turn into lava." She opened the drink lid to reveal actual lava inside the cup. Another fish dashed to the table and said, "I'm glad I'm not the only one to think about it burning out." All the fish were starting to murmur for a couple of seconds until a fish next to the window said, "Guys, look out!" The fish pointed to the window, and the screen panned to reveal a chum bucket with a huge sign and an arrow pointing to the stadium. The sign said, "Free air conditioning here." The husband of the married couple sitting at the table said, Free air conditioning? Let's go to the chum bucket, everyone." All the customers ran out to the Krusty Krab, and Mr. Krabs exited his office. After all the customers have left. "Why are you all leaving?" Mr. Krabs asked. He looked out the window and noticed air conditioning sign of the chum bucket. "Okay, that's it. SpongeBob!" Mr. Krabs said. SpongeBob dashed at Mr. Krabs and yelled, "Yes, sir!" His arms made a general obey as Army Captain command. "I want you to go out and figure out what the cause of Bikini Bottom turned into a giant underwater sauna," Mr. Krabs said. "It's Squidward." Mr. Krabs said and noticed that Squidward is underwater turned into underwater sauna. No, there's nothing on the cashier boat. Then he noticed some sticky note on the back of the cashier, and a close-up of the sticky note appeared and said something, "I pass," with Squidward's signature on the bottom. Let's see. The three fire transition into Sandy Treatum. It looks like the sun was about to set. SpongeBob finished telling the problem to Sandy, and she had a solution. I feel like it's getting hotter. I decided to invent a heat mapper. It tracks every surface temperature in a 75-mile radius, Sandy said. She handed the gadget to SpongeBob. She responded, "Thanks, Sandy. This is going to help me so much with the investigation." "No problem. See you later," Sandy said. After a while, SpongeBob responded as he ran to the door and left the tree dome. Chapter 7. I sense a deja vu. The fire transitioned into a jellyfish field with SpongeBob walking and the sun's about to set. The heat mapper was looking normal until SpongeBob gasped. There was a red circle moving and running motion. SpongeBob started running as well. It chased the circles. The red circles like it started to make a U-turn. SpongeBob followed the red circle until it led to the unknown city. SpongeBob felt like a sense of familiarity until he realized it was a flashback of a clip of SpongeBob finding the same city in the DarkenedHeart, appearing to be a couple seconds. SpongeBob noticed a shadowy figure running down, and SpongeBob was about to crack the heat mapper, and he noticed that it was missing. He decided to enter the city and see that his unknown running heat source was hiding there. He was about to open the door when the down the house with the voice started SpongeBob. "So we meet again, SpongeBob," the voice said. SpongeBob looked behind him and noticed a familiar face. "Hey, you're the nameless hat guy that I saw yesterday," SpongeBob said. "But wait, if I saw you yesterday, then how am I still here with the black void consuming me yesterday?" SpongeBob asked. "The black void? There was no black void. After you defeated the Garbanzo gang, they fell unconscious and were arrested. Then you collapsed on the floor. You must have had a nightmare about that void, the anonymous hat guy said. Alright, but one more question. Why anonymous? Why don't you reveal yourself, Buncho? Asked the hat guy sighing, and then he said, fine, you want an identity? The scene reveal zoomed into the hat guy's face. Little pearly eyes were starting to shape into instant fire flames. His voice shifted to an angry tone, and it sounded like he was grunting while speaking. I'll give you an identity, the hat guy said. The screen zoomed out the entire body and started screaming like a battle cry. The screen started to shake a little bit and started to appear in his body, slowly glowing before the crackles take over his entire body, and the screen was a bunch of watching, and the light started to shine bunch as he was squinting, avoiding to get blinded. A couple of seconds later, the screen faded to black, white for a couple of seconds until the screen came back to normal. Chapter 8, A New Leaf. The hat guy was no longer wearing a hat. He looked like different. His body was made of fire, actual fire, while his eyeballs were in shape were less straight and more curvy. When he was wearing a tuxedo, the screen goes to a close-up of his name tag saying Eerie Fortimer. SpongeBob slowly read the name tag out loud, and to give you an easy idea how to pronounce it, it sounds like Ari Fortimer. Yes, that's my name and identity. Are you happy now? Ari asks. Yes, Ari. Wait a minute. You were the one who increased the temperature? SpongeBob asked. SpongeBob received the response not from Ari. He was not the only one, you moron, the voice said. The screen goes to Plankton flying on a jetpack and landed on Ari's shoulder. Let's just say I had to add a few to the fire, Plankton said. We devised a plan to run crowds out of business by heating the sun with my invention to change the temperature of any object to connect to. Then we used my air conditioner to attract customers. The trunk bucket, after Plankton revealed his plan, Ari responded to Plankton saying, yeah, and now we anymore, pissqueak. Wait, what? Plankton asked. Ari launched Plankton into the air, the same way Mr. Krabs launched Plankton. I'll get you later, traitor! Plankton yelled as he flew in the middle of nowhere. So, wait a minute. I thought you were dead yesterday, SpongeBob said. Nope, I faked my death. The Garbanzo gang had a short-term memory. They only remember major moments. Hyperclays include, I played the dead track, the game, thinking that they beat me to death. Ari said, alright. But I have one more question. Why are you doing this? Isn't it a better solution than burning the world? SpongeBob said. I will tell you my reason in the form of a song. Now get ready and follow along, Ari said. The song started in about 14 seconds. Ari started to sing. Here's the lyric if you want to know. Once upon my birdie. My lyrics. Once upon my birdie mine, all my memories rewind. Back before your career started. When I was everyone's fried cook star. That must be fun for you. Now you just tell me what you do. Tell me your story about your experience with the Krusty Crew. I love the grill. If my skill when I felt famous, felt happy, cook food, feeding the hungry. Why were you gone? Where did you go? I guess you were like me, but what happened to make you tick off? I finished one burger and I stepped in some grease. I fell down and fire appeared right next to me. And this fast food chain was set ablaze. I was only just glazed. Then soon I got fired. And all my problems were desired. We can't go with the flow. When I feel the woe. Chapter 9, the last words. Sigh. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. Eric cried. Time to end this world once and for all. Ari whistled. I can't whistle. And a clip of cargo sits to carry oil. That suddenly appeared, and then the screen went to black. It's just animation with Ari wearing a helmet with a lighter. And the last word was, good riddance, SpongeBob. I will never see you nor SpongeBob again. Keep on it again. He used his extinguisher to end himself, and then the screen zoomed into the lighter with a slow motion to the tire of the Bikini Bottom. And a couple of seconds later, it was covered with fire. The plug curtain scream can be heard, and the screen went completely black. This credits showed up, but the background was completely different. The background looks like it was torn down, set on fire. Fire. The background tour were darkened color, more brownish. The emblems of the forest fire start playing. The music can be faintly heard. Although the fire instrument sounded like it was decaying. It was attempting to play. The speed of the music was really slow. The tune went way off. The screen was distorted in some way. The way you view it looks like the heated. The way you viewed it, heated. Last thing we caught until we got to the Ultimate Plankton Pictures Inc. Although it was different, the water background was replaced with a flowy red hot lava. All the plankton were replaced with pile ashes, implying that they were severely burned and charred beyond recognition. The text wasn't red. The screen went the Nickelodeon logo, all normal without any change. Epilogue. The episode burning in my mind. After watching the episode, all my friends were having, and I all made it clear that the writer went too far, but I wasn't surprised. I've seen some dark episodes that passed through, but I knew how I counted 2 lost episodes. I started a lost episode club called the Brand Intervention Meeting of Breeding Club, or BEEMO Club. Knowing my family is like a lost media magnet, I wonder what tape, flash drive, VHS, or file video will come forth to me next. Message from the author. After 2.5 months of working on this pasta, I finally finished. Hope you enjoyed as much as I do, and feedback is appreciated. Now, here we are, the fun facts you're waiting for. The 5-year-old named Leo and BEEOM are named after my pets. Leo, my dog, and BEEOMO, my parent. She's the Indian ringneck. The Aries pack story. I was originally gonna make a person inspired to be a superhero, but failed miserably. But I thought might be a Formula 5 truck, be much better. While people are 70% water, Aries 70% lava. Aries is actually addicted to gasoline. He feels like he wouldn't survive without the gasoline bottle next to him. 5. Aries guys disguise Shell from Flying Dutchman. They're best friends and feel like they made a great duo. 6. The reason the spelling grammar is good when Leo wrote it because he got help from his father, even without the help from his father, it would make him look like a rough draft. He preferred to type it in the document because it would have bad handwriting skills, which I had too. But okay, so that's both part 1 and part 2 of the Darkest Mind and Burning Minds. That took a lot out of me. I might make a separate video on just the song that Aries sings later after I post this video, but if you want to read both of these stories, I'll link it in the description below. Hope you enjoy this. It took a long time. It took longer than you expected, so bye.